Good morning, guys. It's nothing during the call. Can you guys hear me? Could you please type in the chat window? Great. Thank you, Rahul. And sorry about the delay, guys. I was stuck with the scenario in CI/CD, AWS CI/CD, and I was just looking to it on call with somebody. So I was trying to resolve that. Sorry about the delay, guys. Okay. So let's get started today, guys. Let's see. Rahul, if you can come online and maybe share.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
In which system should I log in?
Yesterday, the Docker, I think right here, the 27, please.
27, okay.
I think that is Node 1.
Yeah, we were doing everything from Node 2 actually tomorrow, because at Node 1 that Apache is running. That's why we have switched to this.
Great, thank you, buddy. Change the background to blue color.
Okay. Okay. 1 minute.
Foreground text you can check.
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of background coming. Is that from you?
Today I'm working from office. That's why there will be some noise.
Okay, you can probably mute yourself.
Sorry, sir.
Please.
Hello.
Try to mute yourself, Rahul.
Yeah. Okay. 1 minute.
When you have to speak, please try to unmute, Rahul. And let's see. So this, I think, is. Can you just double check if 152 is Node 2, Rahul, on AWS browser? Good to know. And let's check out the history, please. Oh, yeah. Okay. And Docker run. Okay. Let's see. Okay. What I wanted to ask you was, if you scroll down a little bit, what is the line 49 doing, Rahul?
Uh, 49. We are creating this voting app container and linking it with the Redis container, which we are running in the background, and doing port mapping of the 5000 port of the host to the 80 port of this container.
Very good. And the right hand side is in. It was reversed yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you take a look at the lines 49 followed by, you know, the other Rahul, where are the other?
Sorry. Sorry, sir. Can you repeat? Sir, your voice is coming too low.
Can you mute yourself, please?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, it looks like there's only voting app here, which is being run. We have run the other, scroll up, please. Could you please scroll up? Okay. Okay. And admin, okay. Is it on this server, Rahul, or is it on another server? I see a bunch of other commands not displayed here. We tried a lot of stuff yesterday. I'm just thinking if you're able to recall. Is this the one or?
Sir, actually we did the last part, like running that container from the GitHub. Other part we have done on that node.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Can you check the images, please? Docker images. So we have result app, we have worker app. Can you try to explain what is result app doing, what is worker app doing, what is voting app doing, what is Redis, what is Postgres?
Start with the Redis. Redis is for the caching purpose, and then we are using Postgres for storing as a database, which is a relational database to storing data from Redis to that Postgres. And result app, from result app we are from voting app, first we are doing this voting there, clicking on the cat and dog, and then worker app is used to I don't remember, but result app is used to show the result, but worker app is used for running some I remember we are linking it with the Postgres database, so maybe something backend task we are performing here.
Worker app is transferring between the Redis and the Postgres. I repeat, worker app is transferring between the Redis and the Postgres. And voting app is interacting with the Redis. The Redis is so that then the data is picked up by the worker. It takes the data from the caching database, persists it into the Postgres. From the Postgres, the result app is picking up, is supposed to pick up and show or display the data. So what is special here in this architecture? Rahul, can you tell me your opinion? What is special we are noticing, or what is special we have done here?
In this architecture, we are running each component separate container. Like for caching purpose, we have separate container. For database, we have separate container. For backend work, like linking Redis to Postgres, we have separate container worker. Voting, to do voting, there is separate container. Result, showing result, there is separate container. And we are running in this collaborating all these things, or integrating. Yeah.
Excellent. And what is the advantage of using the containers?
Hello? Yes, sir.
What is the advantage of using the container?
Using container, we can run anywhere. Using container, we can run the same application and in any environment. It doesn't depend upon this host systems or environment like OS or anything.
Very good, excellent. So more precisely, what is happening is, in real world, there will be multiple teams working on multiple environments and things like that. With a container, they can set up their own software and dependencies in each container. So when the containers are deployed, they are not being impacted by other dependencies, other softwares and things like that. They can run individually as a whole, and remove dependency and remove the problems within between the developers and the operations team. Okay, Rahul? Very good. So let's see, we'll move to the next one today. So yesterday, what we have done is we've been individually running all these containers. What we will try to do is today, we will try to use Docker Compose. Docker Compose is nothing but it is grouping everything into a file and running them together is what we'll try to understand. So for that, what we'll do is, let me see. I'll pass you a URL. Can you access this URL? Let me see. Start with this URL, pasting it in the chat window. There you go. Try to access that URL, Rahul.
So 1 minute, can I share? Can I stop sharing for 1-2 minutes? Okay. Hello, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any chance are you able to get into like a slightly, maybe a something like that? Do you have the freedom, or just in case you have it? No pressure, just in case you have it.
Sorry, sir. What you are saying?
Any chance you have access? Have access to maybe a conference room or something like that. It'll be a little bit. It sounds a little too noisy at your end. Just in case you are.
So maybe can anyone? Maybe Humera, can you share your screen for today only?
Yeah.
I will share the keys or all the keys which we are using. I am using for connecting.
Anybody else guys? Can you guys come on and take
Humera or Surbi or anyone or Moin if you want. Sumit, you can.
Rahul, just mute yourself when you're online, buddy.
Okay.
Okay, so looks like docs.docker install compose. How come it's not coming up? Just go to google.com and just type in install docker compose curl script. Docker compose curl script. Yeah. Install docker compose. Okay, click on that. I think there was a hash there. And install compose, scroll down a little bit. And we are on Windows, select the Windows, or no, we are going to be on Linux. Click on the Linux. Okay, I think that is going to be the copy that command sudo curl name -s. Okay, try running it. Maybe you're signed out. Make sure your login as root. Okay. And 35.3 M. Okay. So now we should have, shouldn't we have a file called? Okay, let me give you one thing. Let me give you this link rather than running that one. Go ahead and pasting this one at my end. Okay. So try this one, Rahul. While you're trying, I'm doing a little bit of multitasking at my end. One moment, please. Come here. Hey, come back here. Okay. And it should save a file, not found. GitHub Docker Compose. Meaning, can you manually go to that github.com and go to maybe except Docker Compose up to that directory? Just we'll browse it directly. Remove the Docker Compose. Go to 1.16.1. Okay, enter. Strange. Go to download. Yeah. Releases. Version 2.4.1. Okay, scroll down, please. Change. And one moment, let me see if I can figure this out. This is the name of the Docker Compose. This is the name of the file. Copy this one. Sorry about the recording. It looks like they have just changed this one, the URL. I'm just looking at that one. So just give me one moment. I'll compose here. I think I somehow missed the full link. You can 22.10. The releases. Select any one of the release. Any one of the release, not Darwin. Let's go into ARC 6. What is Docker Compose 22.95 bytes. That's in SHA. Docker Compose Darwin x86 64. Linux ARM v7. Click on that one on the. Oh, that's downloading file. Paste this here. Just looking at suggested way to increase a Docker Compose. Okay, curl export path. Stop. So just give me one moment. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. Let's try this one. I'm going to copy something. Copy this one. Pasting it in the chat window. Just try to create a shell script and run this one, please. That should get his latest Docker Compose. Just say install Docker Compose .sh. And give me one moment, Rahul. I need to step out here for one quick second. Just execute it after that. Okay, I'm back, Rahul. And let's see. So you install it. Okay. Just cat the install docker.compose. Okay, so basically we're getting the latest. We're extracting it from the URL using the version, and then the output is where the Docker Compose is getting hooked up or saved to, or we should be able to run. You're catching the draw. Okay, so let's see, move to the next step. We've already given the permission. Verify the containers, please. Yes, -A. It looks like we have the voting app being run 2 times. Result worker app is okay, voting app. Okay. So what I want you to do is bring up the on the browser, bring up the voting app first, and just double check and see if you're able to see the cats and the dogs, and then we'll also look at the result app. Bring it up on your browser, the voting app and the result app.
पासवर्ड 2018 पासवर्ड
I think we were listening on the 5000 port for the voting app, and 5000, yeah, good. If you can just click on 1 or 2 times on cats and dogs, Redis should be able to pick up. Good. And then now bring up the result app. Have you verified the result app?
So result app is not running on any port. I have checked. As you can see, this is the result app. Sorry, the result app is not running. Maybe we need to run that too.
Stop the container with the result app and do the port mapping of 5001 to the result app and run it, please. I thought we have done that yesterday. Didn't we do it, Rahul? On 5001, I thought we also verified it.
Maybe we have stopped. I don't remember. So I'm running again. So, yeah.
And this is picking up from the link DB. Okay, good one. Now it should be up. You have given the 5001 port. Okay. Good. So now it looks like all the dogs are 100% for some reason. So some bug is there. And that is where these are the kind of things. This is where a developer will be called on, and then the containers, in which container it will be running, how they are working together, and things like that will be looked into, and so on. So here, one of the things that we have done is we have deployed each of the containers in separate step. And now what our objective is, the objective of the Docker Compose is to compose all these lines into a single file and run it. So what is that single file? That is going to be a YAML file. Okay. So let's say I will back to the server, back to the terminal. Let's create a Docker VI Docker compose.yml. Maybe you can, since they are now, you can now stop this one.
Yes, okay.
Could you also upload the install docker compose.sh onto G drive today when you get a chance, Rahul?
Okay, sir. Okay. So now what I have to do? VI Docker compose.yml.
Let me paste it in the chat window. And let's say, it's going to be, let me give you the version 1 here. Say, copy this one. Docker compose, and let's say this is the version 1. Okay. And get rid of this. Get rid of this. I'm making a small change. So this is final version. Okay. So now I'm going to send this to you. The YAML. Try to paste it into this one. Okay. Paste it into the Docker compose.yml. Okay. So what do you think this one is?
We will run all this container at once.
Yes. Running all of them at one time is what it is. But it's a slightly tough question. Can you take a guess what is the problem here?
Maybe we need to run that DB containers first. Then we need to run this worker and voting container.
Let's say. Okay, let's write it and quit it. Save. And now say verify the containers, Docker PS will verify the running containers. That's going to be voting app, worker app, poster status. Okay, result is missing here. And let's say we'll now say docker hyphen compose up up. Docker hyphen compose space up. Run it. Additional property. So now it says additional property DB is not allowed. What do you think is the problem?
Maybe it is asking for the password of this DB.
Password of the DB. Okay, I'll give you a hint here. One more time, get into the docker compose.yml. And let's say this is version 2. Let me just put something here. Copy this one. Copy this one. Paste it here. So let's say I'll keep this one. Get rid of this one. Get rid of this one. Yeah. Okay. Pasting it in the chat window. Try to paste this one. Also include the version 2. Okay. Back to chat window. Pasting it. Okay. Now try to remove all these lines and paste this one, or maybe just edit so that you have the right properties up there. Okay. Okay, save it. One more time, run it, Docker Compose up. Okay, additional property result is not allowed. Can you cat it once? It says additional property result is not allowed. Everything is in the same line. Okay, before I discuss that one, can you tell me what we did here, Rahul? What is
Sorry,
change?
sir.
What is the change we have done here?
We have added these links
Okay,
this time.
so you catching the point, what is happening here?
Yes, yes.
So let me also give you another version. I'll delete all these lines. And let's say come back here. I'm going to paste this one. If you look at this file, Docker Compose, there is one aspect of it which is missing. Can you take a guess what it is, Rahul? I'll give you a hint.
I guess password is required. Maybe that's something now. And yeah, we need to run the DB containers in detached mode. Maybe that's required.
Good answer. How about, let's say we have given the information about the image and the links. Is there anything else we need to give? We need to give it for the voting application and the resulting application only.
No idea, sir.
Not a problem. Let's say, here we go. Oh, sorry, that is the old one. Let me copy the new one. So it's the final version. Okay, from this one. Okay, now what is cat it and what is the additional thing that you're saying?
Yeah, we are doing this port mapping. I forgot to mention. Yeah.
Very good. So that is Docker Compose. It's putting all of them together and running them together and things like that. Okay. And let's see back here. So now again, one more time, let's go ahead and do a Docker Compose up. Additional property, what is not allowed. Okay, one moment, please. Let me see. Compose. Okay. So, looks like I have not specified the services here. So let me see. I don't think we'll be able to. One moment, let me copy paste this one. Say. This one, come here. Okay, here we go. I have it here. Version 3 services. Here we go. Copying this, adding the services node to pasting it here. Okay. Can you try to paste this one? This is the version 3. This is the latest and the greatest way of specifying the YAML. Okay. Cat it. And version 3 services. Okay, just verify your present directory, PWD. You're in the root. Do an ls. Yeah, I think we need to go into the examples voting app before we run this one, Docker Composer. Because that's where all the directories and everything are there. Yeah, CD into that one. Okay, now just to ls and example voting app. We have all the directories now. Yeah, try doing Docker Compose -up. So if you notice, all the things are running. We have a failed connectivity on endpoint. Example, failed port is already allocated. Oh, okay. So stop the containers, stop and remove the containers. And also, you can probably get all the containers.
Should I delete all which we have created right now, or the previous one only?
Okay, I see what you mean. Because it is going to get its own prefix here, example voting app. These are the ones which are, so it is, which one was it complaining about? Scroll up, show me the error message, please. $5,000 port is already allocated, right? So I think the voting app, if you go ahead and voting app and 5001 also will run, voting app and result anyhow, I think is not there. So you can go ahead and kill that container. And also copy, just do an LSLTR. Copy the Docker, cat the Docker compose YML. Okay, what you do is you have to move this one or copy this file into the folder example voting app. Into example voting app. Yeah. Okay. Now run it. To CP. Okay. Now go into example voting app. And now do a Docker composer. Docker hi. And running on port 80, connected to DB, found Redis. Okay, connecting to Redis. And looks like we're up and running. Why is that in the red color? Let me open my window here. Okay.
Maybe this those containers was running previously. That's why they are complaining. Maybe we need to stop all the containers.
Can you just go ahead and stop all the containers for the sake of discipline so that we are confident, and then run that again just to be on sure side, because there's a small problem there which should come up, and that will help you in understanding it. Yeah, stop the 3 containers. The worker entry point Postgres and Redis. Exited.
What about this exited container?
What is it? Voting app or?
Should I remove all these containers also which are exited?
Just be on safe side. Okay. You can say Docker RM star. No. Docker RM maybe individual container IDs. Just the first 4 letters or characters should be enough also. We'll keep it clean and we'll try to run that. Okay. Now run the Docker Composer.
Maybe it is waiting for the password. We haven't passed the password.
Okay, so that's what I wanted you to understand. And just modify, go ahead, go back to the same file, VI the file.
Should I stop this control C? Sir, should I do this control C here, which is currently running?
Control C, Control Z. Gracefully stopping for force. Okay. Back there, add a property called environment under DB images. So under the DB image Postgres, add a property called environment colon. Right under DB under image Postgres 9.4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, in the next below, no, below the image you can add. Okay, environment colon. In the next line, I will send you these two. You copy paste them. Say paste it. Here we go. Copy paste these two in the next line of the environment. They have to start 2 spaces from environment. Okay, move the Postgres user 2 spaces. Insert 2 spaces for the Postgres user. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, now try saving it and running it. Group by vote, error performing relation, votes does not exist. Connected to DB. So it looks like some errors are propping up, error performing the query. Select vote count of ID. So some SQL statement is failing. That is probably the reason why the results is not showing up. Now go back to your, one more time, go back to our IP address on the browser. Just verify both the apps. We should have probably refreshed it after that, but you can refresh it. And just come back to terminal, see if it's picking up the activity. So somewhere it say you voted for cat or dog, received vote for B, for A and B. A is for probably, cat, B is for dog, I think. Okay. Now verify the result app. I think there is some bug, but for sake of discipline, verify the result app. Looked like it picked something, 50% or something like that, and then it vanished. That's what it is. Ideally, they can make it real time. Like in every second or something like that, it keeps pinging the server and picks up the updates and things like that. They can also improvise it, but that is generally what we can leave it to the developers and so on. So short and sweet, Docker compose all the steps in one file rather than like bringing up the containers in multiple steps is what we have done. Rahul, are you catching it, buddy? Very good. Okay, so that is Docker compose. Okay. Let me also give you a quick introduction to another topic, AWS CI/CD. I will start giving you a quick introduction. Do you want a quick break, Rahul, for a moment?
Yes, yes.
Let's take a maybe 11:12, maybe back by 11:20.
So we will start with CI/CD topic. Okay.
I will start and then I will, there's one problem I'm facing in CI/CD, so I will take a little bit and then move on to Ansible after a few minutes.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Let me know if you're back, Rahul.
Yes, sir.
Great. So let's get started. Let me share my screen. Go ahead and bring this up. And let's see. There you go. Okay. Bringing up in the presentation. Are you able to see the presentation, Rahul?
Yes, sir.
Pardon me. So today we'll try to get started with a little bit of building AWS code pipeline, and we'll spend a few minutes on this one and try to play around a little bit with this. And coming up days, we'll dig a little bit deep into it, guys. So why do we need deployment automation is what we'll try to understand. What is this AWS CI/CD pipeline and the internal workings of this. We have briefly discussed earlier when we discussed about the Docker, so we'll get a little bit deep into it, into these things. The traditional software development process starts with a meeting between the user, between the business and the development. So this is where the business and the developers, the project managers / the technical architect sit together, and they're discussing with the business team, the business domain team, and they're discussing about the requirements, where the business is kind of explaining the requirements of their business and so on. So that's where the development team goes ahead and tries to understand. This is a traditional process, and they try to get a picture of what their business needs, and they try to document, come up with the high-level design documents, architectural documents, low-level design documents, and other kinds of artifacts and things like that. The development team builds the application for months in an isolated environment and finishes. In other words, more precisely, they take their sweet little time, they come up with an estimate and say, hey, I need 1 month or maybe 3 months or maybe 6 months time. They're developing, the development team is developing based on what they understood and things like that is what happens. But by the time they go ahead and show the project, it may not be what the business is expecting. Or in other words, there might be a lot of bugs and other kinds of differences than what is expected. So what you may have expected may have been coffee. What the business may have expecting may have been coffee, but maybe they received tea. Could be the problem. Okay, the development team deployed in smaller chunks are sent to business review each time. This could be avoided in an early phase. Means the development time, instead of waiting for the complete. Let's say for the sake of simplicity, this was like a 6 month or a 1 year project. Instead of coming back and showing the business at the end of 6 months, imagine they would have shown the business every 1 month. That would be better, and have a quick review of how the development is going and how the application is looking. That is a good idea. An even better idea is maybe every 2 weeks they can have a review. An even better idea is every 1 week. And an even better idea is maybe every day, or even better than that, whenever a code change is triggered, if we are somehow able to verify that our application is coming up fine in spite of the code change and things like that, that is what is automated deployment about. It is at a very, very microscopic level. Whenever a code change is made by a developer and it is checked into the version control system, if we can somehow verify the entire process, the entire application is in place and nothing is breaking due to the introduction of this code change and things like that. That is what the continuous delivery and continuous deployment is about. And we need to be able to deploy the software versions fast and frequently. That is what it means. We need to be able to deploy and test them at a much more smaller intervals and be able to test them is the gist of it, guys. Okay, to be able to deploy frequently, we should have standard, tested, and repeatable process that do not depend on people. In other words, if we can somehow, how do you, whenever a developer makes a code change, you cannot call the business and tell, I made a code change, please check this and things like that. They will not be available and things like that, and that will not be practical. So in other words, periodically you can do that, but again, if we can reduce that a little bit more, that is even better. In other words, what it means is if we can somehow automate that, what is that? That is what is the objective of the CI/CD, being able to automate these processes at a very microscopic and an atomic level. and being able to test. And if the test passes, then we go ahead and deploy and be sure that, hey, the application is working is what really the CI/CD refers to. So CI/CD, again, continuous integration deployment, aims to introduce automation to the deployment process to release software versions frequently and reliably. So in other words, again, a lot of businesses are releasing a lot of changes on a daily basis these days. So whenever they make a change, that before the final release is done, if we can somehow test it. And again, testing involves a lot of manual work. So if we can somehow automate the tests and try to verify, even before the testing team picks up, if we are able to verify, that will be even better. That is what is the goal. So CA is continuous integration, CD continuous delivery or continuous deployment. In continuous integration, developers commit the code changes frequently, which means developers are making a change. It could be a few minutes or maybe a day, and they are checking into the code repository. In every code submission, automated builds and unit tests are run. So in other words, if we can somehow, before handing it over to the QA team or the testing team for the testing at us by them, if we can somehow write some kind of tests which are generally referred as unit tests and things like that, and somebody who is at an architect level is able to should be able to give some direction how the developers write the automated tests and things like that. So every time they make a code change, if we are somehow able to run these unit tests and make sure everything is passing, then what it refers to is that the code change is good and it is not breaking any other parts of the application. If it is breaking any of the other parts of the application, then we can immediately revert it back to the appropriate developer, the right developer, and go ahead and have him take care of this one. So in the continuous integration, the commit changes refers to the developers are committing, they're checking the source code, and the build is being performed and unit tests are being done. That is generally referred as continuous integration, guys. Okay. Then comes the continuous delivery. Each code submission is built, tested, deployed to a non-production environment. Multiple tests can be run before the production environment. So after the unit tests, it is also run in multiple environments. Bit of performance testing, load testing is also done, and we can take the source code, maybe generate an image, maybe generate a Docker image, and then run the instances of the containers across multiple environments also. And first test them, make sure they're also working in the staging server. Then if they work in the staging server, we can go ahead and continue and deploy them to the production servers. And in a slightly more detailed or in a real world scenario, that's what happens, guys. Okay. So the deployment to production requires a manual approval. To production, generally to be on safe side, it requires a manual thing. Up to staging is like a production backup. It almost looks like the same as the production, but before deploying it to the production in an enterprise world, it is always good practice to verify it works in a similar environment, in a staging environment. Staging environment is generally put as close as possible to the production environment, and once that is done, then they can go ahead and give a manual approval to the production environment, which can also be automated in some cases, guys. So the complete thing refers to the continuous delivery. It starts from committing the changes until the deployment into the production is what refers to the continuous delivery. Okay. Are you so far with me, Rahul? Can you give me a quick yes? Okay. So in continuous deployment, each code change is automatically built, tested, and deployed to a staging environment as in continuous delivery. There is no manual approval process. The code is deployed to the production environment automatically. So again, if you take out that manual step of approving it manually, then we can also directly deploy it to production if all these tests go fine in staging. And it depends on scenario to scenario. It is there are certain scenarios where you need a manual approval. There are certain scenarios where we can go ahead and automate the build. So for example, Amazon is releasing thousands and thousands of now making thousands and thousands of releases on a daily basis. All of these things cannot be manually done. And because their website is much more data driven and things like that, there are ways and methods and procedures. They ensure that they're automated. The continuous deployment to the production will really not impact other places and other scenarios. Their architecture is in such a way that if something goes wrong in one release, it doesn't really impact the other things. They make sure their architecture is in such way. So it is not that everybody will automate it to the production based on a need basis. We can go ahead and automate it to the production, but up to staging server, it is okay. It is recommendable. And once the staging is, once the test run fine in staging server, we should be able to go ahead and approve the changes to the production manually. So that is, there is no manual approval. Okay. So continuous.
So what is the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment? We don't require manual approval in deployment, right?
True. Per definition, we are automatically deploying it in the production. The whole is referred as continuous delivery. The steps right from beginning till the ending. So if you think of the first steps, if I go back a little bit, the source control and the build is the batting stage of the game, and staging and production is the bowling stage of the game. The complete game is continuous delivery, and just the batting stage is the continuous integration. Now the second part of it includes the continuous deployment. Together, generally, they are referred as the delivery. Delivery is you're completely.
Okay. So it is combination of both continuous integration and continuous deployment.
True. Cool. Okay, continuous delivery service of AWS to model, visualize, and automate your software release process. In other words, we are able to model means we are able to build it using the UI. We can build it using the AWS CDK by writing the code, and the CDK is available in multiple programming languages. We can use our own programming language and also build it if we want, but most of the times people may prefer to build it online because on using the console also, even though a few steps will be more, because it is much more convenient, simple and easy and comfortable, and we don't need to worry about learning a programming language or coding language and things like that, and so on. We can visualize it, we can try to understand in which part of the phase, if it happens to fail, where it is failing and things like that. Just give me one moment, sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. So you can model continuous deployment or continuous delivery to be to build, test, deploy, and pre-production, production environments depending on your needs. In other words, we can go ahead and do the complete process in AWS. You can integrate the third-party tools like Jenkins, Blaze, Meta, or add custom actions using AWS Lambda. So in other words, the AWS code pipeline kind of have taken the many manual steps that are being done in individual components or the tools such as in Jenkins and Blaze Meter or other things that we manually do, building a build server and doing some integration components, which are some of the steps which are manually done, they automated it. So in other words, it is more of a super Jenkins or a super Blaze Meter also is what we can. I have not really looked into Blaze Meter that much, but in Jenkins, there are a few steps which need to be manually done, which could be a headache to the people who are managing and administering it. So code pipeline automates those steps also, because it's kind of a more superset of what it does. And in certain scenarios, Jenkins suits. If you have a lot of customizations and things like that, then a lot of organizations which are already using Jenkins and they may continue to use it. But the more modern things, they are going by the AWS code pipeline because it is much more simpler and simpler to work with and things like that. So code pipeline is the orchestrator of the CI/CD workflow. So we have the code pipeline, the code commit. This is like the GitHub repository. AWS code build is where once you check in the source code is taken, it builds it, then it will deploy it automatically. And once it is deployed, and the cloud formation goes ahead and generates a template out of it. The template can be used in which we can specify AWS Lambda or other kinds of services. We will be able to deploy it to the production and deal the architecture or deal the entire architecture at a template level rather than at a code level or at a much more lower level is what the cloud formation helps us, guys. Okay, if time permits, we'll dig a little bit deep into it. A few terms and terminologies that will be coming across as part of the about pipeline is pipeline workflow describing how software changes through release process. Pipeline is a pipe. If there are two steps or two tasks, the output of one step or one task is becoming input to the second one. So here we have a bunch of tasks which are going on. The output of one task, so the output which is coming out from the developers, which is the source code, is becoming input to the build stage. The output from the build is becoming input to the deploy stage. That is like a pipe, and that is what is a pipeline. It's a group of steps happening sequentially. Source revision, the version of source change that triggers your pipeline. There can be multiple revisions flowing through your pipeline at the same time. In other words, multiple times the developers are making multiple changes to their code, and multiple images are getting built up, multiple builds are being built up and deployed, and every time code is released or a build is built and deployed, multiple versions can be maintained. That is what is the revision really about. As we can maintain the versioning at a source code level, at a build level, at a final release level, and things like that. Then we have stage, group of one or more actions in a pipeline, short and sweet. It's a group of actions. In a stage, only one source revision can be processed at the same time. So we'll try to understand that. An action, a task. An action is a task, as simple as that. It can be any task. It can be as simple as you're checking in, you're checking out, you build it, maybe you deployed it. So each step or each task can be thought of as an action. Action can be sequential or parallel in the stage, and they belong to the pipeline. In other words, the pipeline contains both stages and actions. A group of actions can be thought of as a stage, as simple as that, guys. Okay. So transition, a connection between two stages. So in other words, the source code is developed. The source code is developed by the developers. They tested therein, they build and tested therein, and then given to the build team. So what is happening? They're giving. What is it? They're transitioning their code to the build team. The build team will build it in a production, in a release mode rather than in a debug mode generally, so that any of the debug additional overhead is prevented. And they try to hand it over to the next deployment team and things like what is that? That is what is a transition. It's a stage between two. It is a process or a step between two stages can be thought of as a transition. Artifact, a file or set of files, which means that an artifact could be simple source code, one file, or it could be
Hello, sir. You are not audible.
coming out from the developers as they write the code based on from one stage to another stage.
Hello, sir. Can you repeat your voice was not audible?
Oh, about now, Rahul?
Yes, it is audible.
Looks like my internet was unstable. Sorry about that. So transition is something where a developer is going ahead, the development team goes ahead, builds their code, they test it their end, and when they think everything is working, they hand it over to the build team. So that handover is what is referred as a transition. And then artifact is something which is the product or the output which is coming from the development team. The source code which is coming out of the development team is then handed over or shipped to the build team so that they can build it in a release mode. The developers test and do their build it in a debug mode generally, so that if there's any problem, they're able to understand where the problem is and things like that. Then the build team builds it in release mode. And what are they getting? That input that they're getting can be referred as artifact. It could be as just a simple single file, or it could be a group of files, folders, or maybe a zip of the complete source code can be referred as artifact. Are you with me, Rahul?
So, sir, the process of transferring this artifact from source stage to the build stage is called transition. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
So you push your changes to the source location of your pipeline and create a source revision, which means when the developers write their source code, they push means they are checking in the code, and that could be to a source code repository, that could be GitHub, that could be Amazon code commit, or Amazon S3, or anything else also. When you deliver your first version, that becomes the first version. That is nothing but your revision. Version 1 is what it is. Your pipeline is triggered and the source revision passes through the stages. You can manually hand it over to your build team, or you can automate it. The moment you commit the code, something is triggering and sending it to the build process, which is actually building it. The source revision is deployed to the production. Again, from the build, it can be handed over to the deployment and it can be released finally, which is what we'll try to look and understand in today and the coming days. Trigger is when you go ahead and check in the code. It is automatically when you check in the code to the code commit, the pipeline is triggering. The pipeline is triggering it to the or sending a message to the build to go ahead and build it, maybe in a release mode. And what is happening? Something is sending it or triggering it. That is what is the trigger. It automatically happens, is what it is, Shubham. Similar to, is it similar in Jenkins? Yeah, it's similar to Jenkins. Jenkins can also be treated as a complete CI/CD. You can build a complete thing in Jenkins also. But there are some steps which you would manually do in Jenkins, whereas here in code pipeline, those are also automated. And they have given it to us so that we don't have to worry about those things and things like that, okay? So what we will be doing is we will take an example of a simple application. We will create a couple of buckets in S3. Amazon S3 is where all the storage in the Amazon happens. And we will create a source bucket and production bucket. Think of them as where we are checking in our source code in the development and the production or a folder or a zip file. And once that happens, we'll create a pipeline, the pipeline. So there it is, we are checking it, we're putting it into the source, and the pipeline immediately picks it up and hands it over to deploys it to the production. That needs to happen automatically, but before we do that automatically, we will try to do that manually, and we will try to get a feel of it, guys, okay? Rahul and Shubham, okay, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Rahul, can you go ahead and share your screen? And just
Yes.
give me one moment here.
Hello, sir, are you there?
Okay, extremely sorry about that, guys. Rahul, are you there? Shubham, are you there?
Yes, yes.
So one more time, apologies. Let's see. Let's get started with the Amazon S3.
Sir, should I delete these 3 nodes? We are not using them. Just stop.
Please delete them.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, bring up the S3 service. Start with here and go ahead and bring up the G drive that we have. Please, and I will upload a new project there. Same. This is the G drive. Okay, and let's go ahead and create, let's say create, you're in global, okay? Just say create, we'll come back here in a moment. Create a bucket. And let's say call this as source underscore, let's say dev, source and prod, let's say source dev. Okay, source underscore dev underscore v1 or source underscore dev is good. Then it looks like you're pointing to USC's North Virginia, which is okay. ACL's disabled is okay. Scroll down, please. Block all public access is okay. Bucket versioning, enable the bucket versioning. So we're going to be checking our source code here, and then we will go ahead and try to deploy it into production automatically. That's what we'll try to understand. And let's go ahead and create, have you enabled the versioning? Yeah, okay. Scroll down and now create it. Bucket name, oh, yeah. Just say source dev1, remove the hyphen. I think it's not accepting the special characters. Is it? Must be unique, okay. That is a bucket for the dev, and we started with source underscore dev one, right? Yeah. Let's go ahead and also create another bucket. And we'll call this as prod, source underscore prod one, or source prod one. Then ACL disabled, block all public access, uncheck that, because for the production we need to have it available. Scroll down a little bit. I acknowledge, good one. Bucket versioning. Yeah, go ahead and enable the versioning, and let's say expand the advanced settings. Scroll down, object lock. After creating your bucket, upload the files. Okay, let's go ahead and create the bucket. Already exists. Say prod N1, like a production N1. Okay. Create it. Okay, so we created source. Just click on the creation date so that the two are on the top. If you sort it by the creation date. Yeah, so source underscore prod, product, that will be the production bucket, and dev one will be the development bucket. Next, let me upload this one to the G drive. Let's say a new file upload. This downloads. I think it is going to be my. Okay, I uploaded a zip file, and in the G drive, access the G drive. In the G drive, you should find my website. Go ahead and download that. And unzip that. Make sure there are two files. Are you doing it for the second time? Oh, you're okay. You're okay. Index, as simple as that. We'll look into those things. And now come back to the S3 bucket, and let's see what we'll do. Back to the dev one. Go into the properties. And let's see, I think you need to scroll down, look for static hosting, site hosting, click on edit, enable, and static website. And let's say type in index html.html. Similarly, the error document will put it as error.html. Okay, scroll down, please. Scroll up, please. Yeah, I think we're good. Go ahead and save the changes. And let's see, access points, bucket versioning. Scroll down a little bit, please. Default encryption is okay. Scroll down, please. Access login, CloudTrail, even notifications. Okay, right now we'll not worry about all those things. We'll directly go ahead and deploy it. Static website is in. Okay. Click on the URL source. This is the source, right? Yeah, this is the source. My bad, not this one. Close this one. Yeah, you go back there. Now go to the buckets again. You can click on the buckets. Back to the production. And yeah, production. And here, what we need to do is back to the, go all the way down to the static hosting. Yeah, edit that, enable, and yeah, type in index and error. scroll down. Save the changes. Version. Go all the way down to static hosting. It's enabled and bucket hosting. Okay, click on that. Okay, so now it says access denied, message, and error occurred while attempting. So in other words, more precisely what we're doing here, Rahul, we have created a bucket. We have said in the production bucket, we have said, here is your index and here is your error file, is what we have said. But we have not really uploaded these two files into the production bucket. Into the development bucket, we have uploaded. And generally the process is we don't upload it to the production. From source, from development, you deploy it to the production and you have to do it automatically. Catching the point, buddy?
Yes, but sir, we haven't uploaded the file in that dev bucket also.
You have uploaded it, no?
No, we have just created and enabled the static website.
My bad. Go back to the development, please. It's good that you remember that. Back to the dev, and we need to, let's say, upload. Add files. Select the select the zip file. Select the zip file, yeah. Click on open. And let's say destination, expand the permissions. Scroll down. This bucket has the bucket enforced. Okay, expand the properties. So, okay, I don't think I need the properties. We can leave it standard. And anything below the properties? You have the tags, metadata is optional. And scroll up a little bit. Checksums, server side is okay. That is okay. I think everything is okay. Just go up all the way up. And we have added now go ahead and save this one or upload this one all the way down. Upload. Okay, so it is uploaded and this is in the dev bucket. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and one more time hook up between, put a connection between this one and the production is what it is. Okay, so for that, close this one and go back to the search for services called pipeline, code pipeline. Code pipeline. Click on that. Okay, so on the left hand side, if you see, there are different components of that: code commit, code artifact, build, deploy, and code pipeline. These are the ones we'll try to look and understand. Click on, create a new pipeline. Just give a new name, say first pipeline or pipeline 1. That's good. First pipeline, something like that. And new service role is good, yeah. Go to the advanced settings. Default is good, okay. Click on next. Source provider, click on that one. Yeah, if you click on that, we'll select Amazon S3. That's where we're going to be. The buckets are. The bucket, click on the bucket, it should auto-populate and look for the source underscore dev1. So this is going to be the starting point where we are going to get our source code. S3 object key is, I think, over the file my-website.zip. That is one. If you just click on it, it should bring it up, or just whatever the name is, my-website.zip. Okay, change detection for now, we'll keep it as Amazon CloudWatch events. And click on next. Build provider, you can skip this, will not build it. This one doesn't need build. Other kind of things will need. You can say skip build stage. Skip it. Okay, then deploy. This I think is mandatory. So here again, we'll say Amazon S3. Yes, is automatically bucket is going to be the production. Yeah. Extract file before copy. S3 object keys are mandatory. Deployment path optional, you can leave that. Extract the file, click on additional configuration. Canned ACL and KMS encryption. Click on KMS encryption. Nothing is coming up. Okay, click on canned ACL. I think it's a drop down, so that's where we will need to allow. We will need the rest of the world or the others to be able to read our website. So we'll select public read. We want the public to be read it above. Yeah, that is optional. We can leave it. Click on next. Okay, scroll up and just verify what we have here. So the pipeline name, first pipeline, artifact, okay, some versioning, service role name. And this is a source. What we are doing is our first source is S3, source step 1. And that is a zip file which contains our source code. Then add build stage, step 3. No build, we're not building it. It's a straightforward one. And in the deploy, we are extracting from S3, we are extracting is true to production 1. We are allowing the public to read. So say create pipeline. In progress. So first the source should complete and then the deploy should complete. Give it a moment. Okay, scroll down please. Let's look at the deploy. So here it is automatically, code pipeline is automatically deploying it to the deploy stage from source stage. And this, if we click on disable transition, we need to manually deploy it. This is a simple example of an automatic deployment. No, don't do it. Let's give it a moment. It should take a minute or two. Still in progress. Okay, let's give it a moment. Click on the details. Not much help there. Error reference code. Okay. Click on done. Just for the sake of it, I will just do a retry. Click on retry. Pipeline has been created. I think that is just a pipeline. Deploy successfully retired means I think it's taken away. So we need to, let's give one retry. Close the two green color notifications. You can close the notifications. And scroll up a little bit, please. Okay, let's see. Scroll down. Still in progress. Okay, we'll give it a moment. Pardon me. Failed. Okay. Scroll up and go back to the pipelines. Let's see if you're able to look at some of the configurations. Click on the pipelines. Oh no. Click on back. Pipelines. And click on the first pipeline. It just brings us back here. Let's see, where are we? Let's see, click on, there is an Amazon, under deploy, there is Amazon S3, click on that. See if it takes us to that bucket. So it's production one, okay. So we're there, let's say scroll down, let's see what we have done here. Scroll up please, and go to the properties. US East, North Virginia, okay, we need to be in the same region. So just keep in mind US East, North Virginia for a moment. We'll just copy paste that somewhere. We'll just verify it with the source also. Then we have enabled the bucket versioning, okay. Scroll down please. North Virginia, okay. Bucket versioning is enabled, which is good. Tags is okay. This should be default. Scroll down please. Cloud train, even notifications, we don't need it right now. Don't need that. Request to pay, static website. Okay, one moment. It is enabled bucket hosting. Let's click on edit on static web hosting. So, and let's see, host a static website. Okay, let's scroll down please. How much here? Scroll up. Scroll up. One moment. This is static website. Generally, scroll down please. There is somewhere I saw the permissions. That's what I'm looking at. Scroll up. S3 block access for you. Amazon S3 block public access. Little bit up. We're in static website. Further up. Can you click on? Everything looks good here. Source prod in one. One more time. Click on permissions. Objects can be public. Block public access. Block. All public access is off. Individual. Expand that. Okay, now bucket policy. Scroll down. Down please. Object ownership. Access control list. Let's see. Scroll down. Wait. Access control list. Let's see what we have here. Currently, everyone public access group authenticated users is 3. Public access. Scroll down. Oh, sorry, John. Okay. Object. This is a bucket. Access points and access analyzer for S3. Storage lens. Block public access settings for this account. On the left hand side, there is something called block public access settings for this account. On the left hand side. Wait. On the right hand side, under the block public access, click on edit. Sorry about that. I had this working in the morning. And that looks good. We don't have blocked here. Okay. Cancel that. Permissions, matrix management, access points, objects can be public. Block public access. So individual block public. Can you expand that individual block public access? Scroll down. Okay. How about this one? Let me take the shortcut. Go back to the previous window where you have the pipelines. And scroll up and click on pipelines on the top. Let's just verify it with the one which is already working. Yeah, click on that one. Is the source deploy successful? Click on that one. This is automatically deployed. This will come later. Yeah, go to the properties. Bucket versioning disabled, multi-factor, default encryption. Scroll down. Intelligent testing not needed. Notifications. Transfer acceleration object lock. Keep going down. Enable. And click on that one. Click on that link. Okay. Close this one. And the static website is, click on static website edit. Post a static website. We have index and error. Okay. Let's do one more time. Go back to the buckets and let's create a new bucket for the production, Rahul. Let's see. I think I've given the permissions, but to keep it simple, let's create another bucket. What did we call earlier? What was the name we gave earlier, Rahul? Source underscore, okay, prod2 into, okay. US East, okay, choose bucket. And here, here we go, object ownership. Yeah, select the ACLs enabled.
Sir, previously we have enabled that versioning, but the bucket which was got successful, in that bucket we don't have enabled that versioning. So maybe that's the difference.
You're saying the ACL is not enabled?
No, versioning. The versioning was disabled on the successful bucket.
Versioning was disabled, huh?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Go back to that one. What you're saying, where you're saying. So website production. You're saying versioning is disabled. Versioning. Okay. I see what you mean. Okay, but versioning, I'm still thinking if versioning should make an impact here in the production, even if it is turned on or not, but we'll just give it a try. So you're saying bucket versioning is disabled here, right?
Yes.
So go back to the one where we had it failed. Buckets. And yeah. Properties. Bucket versioning is enabled. Okay, edit that and disable it. Let's give a quick try.
We cannot disable, sir, once we have enabled. We can only suspend it.
Go ahead, suspend. Acknowledge the outcomes of suspending bucket version. Okay. Save it. Suspended. Okay. Back to the pipelines here. Now the first pipeline. Terminals retry. Deploy successfully retired. Still in progress. Okay. Versioning is disabled for production. Okay. 1 minute, Rahul. I'm going to step out here for 1 moment. Sorry about that.
Still failing. Hello.
Okay, sorry about that, buddy.
Sir, can we take a short break?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry about that, Rahul. I'm back ready. Let me know if you're back, Rahul. Stumble, dance, all below canopy of green. Wow. Thank you, Humira. One of the other places. Turquoise blue water through the stadium much of the control distance.
Hello? Yes, sir, I'm back.
Yeah, so I think you enable the versioning and still it is failing, Rahul. Let's go back and create a new one. I'm thinking something related to the permission, so let's give a quick try. This is something like source-prod into object ownership ACLs. Let's go ahead and click on ACLs enable. Click on ACLs enable and bucket owner object right. That's okay. You can leave the default. This is for the production, so uncheck that. Uncheck that, please. Yes, click on that. Bucket versioning. Okay, we'll keep it disabled. Scroll all the way down. Create bucket. Now, bucket, scroll down. Just sort it, make sure it's there. Source prod into, just remember the name. Now go back to the pipeline. And let's see, can we, no, I don't think we're able to edit this one. See if there's an edit here, edit, click on edit. And edit deploy, no, we'll not mess with this one. Create a new pipeline, please. This will further confuse you if I edit this one. Create a new pipeline. Let's say first pipeline underscore V2. Let's call it as version 2. Okay, And let's say advanced settings. Default location. Oh, strange. Select on the default location. Click on next. Source provider is Amazon S3. Bucket is the source dev. Source dev one. no, source dev one. Yeah. And this is, I think, my website.zip, I think. Okay. And what did you, this is so, yeah. Yeah, click on next. Click on, you can skip this one. You don't need build because this is HTML. Skip. Deploy is a must. Amazon S3. And bucket is going to be N2, I think, right? N2, prod N2. Now that I think is S3 object key. You can include that. I think you can leave that. Extract it. Deployment path is optional. Click on next. Click that. Okay. So deploy action. Yeah, let's go up, please. We'll just double check the steps here. Pardon me, sorry about that. First pipeline V2 and the source action provider, yeah, coming from Amazon S3. Bucket is S3 source dev 1. Source dev 1 is correct, right, Rahul?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Object keys looks good. Okay, build action. I think that's a skip. Okay, deploy. S3 extract to production into. Go ahead and create pipeline. Okay. There you go. Deploy succeeded. So now click on the Amazon S3. And I think you have to scroll down. So if you notice the error.html and index.html is there. And go back to static hosting. Start. Didn't we? What is this one? Is this production N2? Yeah, prod N2. Didn't we enable this one? Static website hosting.
We haven't enabled. We just created the bucket. We can enable now, maybe. Should I enable?
Yes. Enable. And yeah, index. Next one is error. I think you need to save it. And let's see one more time, scroll down. Okay, click on that. An error occurred while attempting to retrieve a custom error document, and that is prod N2. But let's go back to the pipeline again. And let's see if you're able to rerun this one. Wait. Stop execution, clone pipeline. Notify edit. Click on edit. At this stage. And scroll down. We don't need to add a stage. Click on save. Save. So scroll up. Okay, release the change. That's on the right hand side upper corner. There's release change. Yeah. Release. So one more time, we're making another release. Scroll down. succeeded, and click on that. Buckets, and let's say, so there is the error. This is the prod into. Go to the properties, then scroll all the way down to, yeah, click on that.
So actually, we need to maybe make that objects public, because when I have tried previously with the hosting this static website, we have to make that objects public again.
Object public. Let's see. One moment. Let's do this exercise one more time. Let's create another bucket. Sorry about that, Rahul. We'll try to incorporate what you're saying also.
Yes. Okay.
We'll say prod. Yeah, source prod n3. Enable the ACL. Unblock it. Acknowledge. It's okay. Default encryption is okay. Advanced settings. Create the bucket. And source prod n3. Okay. So go into that one. Good. And properties. Static enable. So static, just give index and error. And I think you can go ahead and save it. And where is it? You said you had the things enabled. Block of edit, no policy to display. Look at settings. Okay, never mind. We can go ahead and try to create another pipeline, because I think we missed that specifying the index. I don't know if that is causing it, but exactly follows same. What is that? Why is it? Oh, so it succeeded. Okay. Okay. Just create a new pipeline. We'll call that as V3 pipeline underscore V3 or something like that. Okay. And to create a service, that is okay. Go to advanced settings. Strange. Let's say default is what I remember I've done it. Now click on next. Source provider is S3. Stage deploy stage. And this is coming from source underscore dev1. Source underscore dev1. Yeah. my-website.zip. Scroll down. Go to the next. We also need to give build provider, skip it, deploy, S3. Bucket is prod m3, S3 extract file, go to additional configuration. Oh, wait, additional configuration. This is the one we missed, public rate, give public rate. Click on next. I think we should be okay. Scroll down, look at the step 3 or step 4, where you have the deploy. This the build is okay. Deploy Amazon S3, extract is true. Scroll down, bucket name is prod m3. There you go. Canned ACL. I think we did not specify that, Rahul, but let's just test that. Click on create pipeline. You can create it all. Okay. Okay. Deploy succeeded. Okay. And properties. Yeah, click on that. Good.
Yeah, it is working.
Okay, so I think we missed the canned ACL. And
Yes, yes.
that is what is the problem, Rahul. The canned ACL public read witness.
Yes, maybe that enables that public access for this S3 bucket. Because previously when I have done that static website hosting, we have to do that object public, make that object public. So, yes.
Bucket or the production bucket? The production
No,
bucket.
no. This time I have done previously, like not in this training. Previously, I have done.
Okay. Sounds good, Rahul. So in that case, what we'll do is we'll continue with the next step tomorrow and go a little bit deep into this one, buddy.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Questions before we wrap up today? Humera, Rahul.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for today, I'll stop it here, guys. And you guys take care and stay safe and keep learning, guys. Okay, we'll continue the journey from tomorrow. Okay, Rahul?
Okay, sir. So what we'll do tomorrow, like CI/CD same?
CI/CD, I'll continue the next few days. I'll continue each step and we'll try to increase the complexity in this one. Okay.
Okay, sir. We will do with S3 only.
S3 and the code build, the code commit, all those other components are there. We'll try to include them. We can also do with the GitHub.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Signing off for today. You guys take care. Stay safe. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir.